Steve Forbes, Forbes Media Chairman. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. You are the man of the moment. So tell me, have you sent that letter?
No, we've been working on a draft for an op-ed, and we'll certainly send a copy with a ribbon to the Oval Office. We're making the point that a good package would include suspending the payroll tax, not doing these paying people more not to work than to work, and to help individuals. Conservatives won't like it, but to help individuals, do another round of stimulus checks. It was $1,200, you remember, earlier this year. Do another round of $1,200, $1,500, even $2,000 to help people pay those bills and get them through until the economy gets back on its feet. A one-time payment like that does not distort the labor markets. It has plenty of incentives for people to get back to work. So a right package would help the economy. But if they extend these benefits that would pay people not to work, that's going to hurt the recovery. That's why Nancy Pelosi likes that idea. So does Chuck Schumer. And I'm a little surprised that the Treasury Department has been a little slow on the uptake on that. So the question is, are we going to get a good package or a bad package?
So to be clear, you are not saying that people out there don't need more money. We heard that in the last hour, this idea that the packages are all going to run out by the 31st and that people are going to be hurting for money, so to speak. You're not saying we want to leave them high and dry. You're saying that rather than doing it in the form of these enhanced unemployment, the enhanced unemployment, which I know I personally have talked to business owners who can't get their people to come back to work because they're getting this unemployment. You're saying cut them, everybody, another round of checks, as you said, and let's get the economy rolling. But you do not want to do the unemployment benefit itself, which incents people to stay home rather than going to work, correct?
Yes, you have a lot of employers now who can't get people back to work precisely because of those benefits. So help people who need it with another round of stimulus checks, make sure they're even bigger than they were the last time. And at the same time, suspend the payroll tax. Somebody making $40,000 a year would have an annual pay increase of $3,000. $50,000 would be a $4,000 raise annually. So that way you incentivize employers to keep people and hire people because the cost of labor goes down because that payroll tax is paid half by employers. And employees, people who are working, get an instant pay raise. So do the combination of individual checks and pay raises in their pay envelopes. And by golly, you've got the right formula to help get this economy back on its feet.
I don't know if you heard the soundbite with Blake Berman before this. Why do you think Steve Mnuchin is taking his show on the road with Mark Meadows rather than taking Larry Kudlow with him? Is there a war going on between the supply-siders and how to get this done? Because if I understand from the way you kind of set it up in the beginning, you yourself disagree with Steve Mnuchin's approach.
Absolutely. Extending those benefits is going to hurt the recovery. It hurts employment. And there's a better way to help people and do better for the So send those checks out.
But is there a war going on? Is Larry Kudlow on the sidelines? Is there an argument going on?
Yeah, no surprise inside. And I don't have inside information, but there's no surprise that you're going to get this fight. You had it earlier over those benefits, but the feeling was at the time several months ago, OK, swallow that because we have a crisis on the hand and we got to get the rest of this bill through. Right now, we have a different situation today, so we can help people more by those stimulus checks and by reducing the payroll tax, eliminating it for several months. That way, it's win-win. And hopefully, between now and early next week, Steve Mnuchin will have a change of heart. And I'll certainly send a personalized copy of the op-ed so he can mull it over the next few days.
Okay, but Steve, another thing you said is this is why Nancy Pelosi doesn't want it, because it would help the economy recover. Steve Mnuchin's whole job when he rolls over there with Mark Meadows is to make some kind of a deal. So even if economically what you're talking about, cutting the checks and the payroll tax, are better economics, what is Nancy Pelosi's incentive other than wanting to help the people who she supposedly represents, but she has no real incentive to make a deal on that? So if you send Steve Mnuchin to Capitol Hill, to Nancy Pelosi's office, with the plan that you laid out, what are the odds that she's going to help with that? It seems like zero. It seems like a fool's mission.
Well, this is where you go over the heads of these people and go to public opinion, as Ronald Reagan way back in the day used to do, and turn the heat of public opinion on them. And I have no illusions that in this bill you can throw stuff in for junk that Nancy Pelosi wants for some special interests. You can throw some money in to help states, which would be legitimate, to cover their COVID costs, not pension costs, but their COVID costs, stuff like that. You can put a nice package together so she can go back and say, look what we got. And in terms of sending checks to people, that's not a partisan thing. It got unanimous approval last time. And if you say you want to send out $1,500, $2,000 per person check instead of $1,200, she would be hard put to oppose that.
Yeah. So the payroll tax thing seems like a big stretch. Do you think that if somehow Mnuchin, who, God love him, I mean, long before he came to Washington, he was a wheeler dealer here on Wall Street. He is good at doing that sort of thing. If he made a trade where you had, rather than the enhanced unemployment, you cut people checks, but you did not get the payroll tax cut, how would you feel about that? How would that help? Would it help?
Well, if you let the unemployment thing expire on July 31st, which is scheduled to do, and you do individual checks instead, okay. I would hope the president would push for the payroll tax cut and give her some goodies, which they're always on the lookout for, the Democrats. You can cut a deal that would really help the economy. And I hope Mnuchin, if he's a great wheeler dealer, will see the proof of it next week. Right now, I'm a skeptic.
Okay. You're a skeptic. Okay, we'll put you in the skeptic box. Payroll tax, in my opinion, makes the most sense for most people. You get to keep your money. But it's less money sent to Washington for all of those swamp creatures to spend as they like. And by swamp creatures, I mean on both sides of the aisle. So that's why I'm not hopeful about your payroll tax, as smart as it is. Steve Forbes, thank you for coming on and answering all of your questions, our questions. We really appreciate it.